right, so we are here with attorney Robert James. Robert, thank you so much for being here with us. We've seen a lot of moving parts in this case. As one of our legal experts, we're hoping you could break it down for the people at home. So one of the big things that we saw in her press conference yesterday, District Attorney Bonnie Willis said that she would like to see a trial in 6 months. We're talking about RICO charges here. How realistic is that?
That is extraordinarily ambitious. The consideration is not just what the DA wants, but it's also how long after these defendants get their discovery or the state's file, how long it will take them to be prepared for trial. Yeah. So that's extraordinarily ambitious, and I would not expect that.
Will the folks, when we see everybody arraigned, we're talking about 19 co-defendants here, will they be tried together?
It's what the DA would want. Okay. It's what I would want if I were the prosecutor. Invariably, if you're a defense lawyer, that you're going to ask for the judge to sever some of the folks, sever some of the people out. And so if you're representing someone that's on the lower rung of this thing, right? You don't want to be sitting at the table next to some of the bigger players where their names are all over the indictment if your name is just mentioned once. Yeah. And so there'll be a request, perhaps. There may be motions to sever, perhaps. And the judge is going to have to rule on that. My expectation is that they will be tried together.
Okay. Another question, we are seeing, like I said, 19 different people coming down. They are a part of this indictment. What type of penalties? And we know that everybody's charged with RICO. Some people have more charges than others. But when it comes to those RICO charges, if they are convicted, what type of penalties could they see?
A minimum of 5 years and a maximum of 25 years in prison for RICO. Okay. So it's pretty significant because it has a mandatory minimum. You have to get 5 years if you're convicted. You can't get any more than 25 years. There are other charges, various charges that carry anywhere between 5 and 10 years that are on the indictment, but the RICO is the main thing.
And I do want to clarify, does that mean time or a fine, or are you talking mandatory time?
Typically, you're looking at mandatory time if you get convicted of RICO. All the RICO cases that I've been involved in, the people that were convicted got 5 years in prison of RICO.
Wow. Another thing I want to talk to you about, a bit of a shock to us yesterday as we were kind of waiting for this indictment to come down. We saw Reuters actually publish what looked like a court docket, an indictment listing charges that turned out to be similar charges that we saw when the actual indictments came up against former President Donald Trump. Yeah. The clerk issued a statement today saying that this was a fictitious document. She said that yesterday, and then today she said that this was a sample working document, but still fictitious because it wasn't signed. Can the Trump defense use this at all?
They'll try, but I don't think that it's prejudicial, right? And the reason I don't think it's prejudicial is because the indictment went before the grand jurors, or the proposed indictment went before the grand jurors, and they voted on it and they true-billed it, right? And so the question, if I'm a judge or if I'm a prosecutor arguing against it is, where's the harm, right? It's ugly, it's embarrassing, it's inappropriate, it's a mess, quite frankly. But how does it prejudice Donald Trump or any of the other defendants that are in this indictment? That's the question. And at this point, I haven't heard any compelling arguments that it does.
All right. Well, time will tell, I guess. Thank you so much, Mr. James, for coming on and explaining it to us.